Hey you, it's CovertGoBlue, and today we are talking about a big freaking monster with some serious fangs. We are covering Ghalta and Mavren, a team-up card from the upcoming set March of the Machines. Doesn't come out till mid-April, but they've given us some early look cards, so we're going to do little videos talking about them and get hyped, because some of this, especially the team-up stuff, is absolute nonsense. I am here for it. As long as they do it rarely, you know, not like every set, it's a special occasion, I am completely here for it. So, Ghalta and Mavren, are you ready for some Timmy magic, some big dino magic? This is 3 and a green and a white. That is 7 total mana for a 12/12 legendary creature that is a dinosaur vampire. This is a rare. It has trample, and whenever you attack, choose one. Create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. And create the other option that you can choose is create X11 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So you can make a whole bunch of little vampires that are not attacking and have lifelink, or you can make one big attacking dino with trample that is attacking and tapped when you attack with Ghalta and Mavren. No, that's not quite right, is it? We'll get to that in just a moment. First of all, let's talk about Ghalta and Mavren. This is a fun pairing from Ixalan, a plane that we're going back to soon. It was also notably the first plane to ever get put on MTG Arena. I remember playing Ixalan, the very first, like, early super early access, like alpha you could call it, or the very most beta. It was only Ixalan. Ixalan was the only set you could build from. And back in those early days, you know, we didn't have Ghalta even yet, because that came in Rivals of Ixalan. But Ghalta showed up in the next set that was released. Ghalta is a 12/12, a very beloved card. You can still craft it on Arena if you want to. And then Mavren Fane also on that plane as one of the vampire kind of leader and commanders. And whenever it would attack, you create a 1/1 vampire with lifelink. So you can see how these things come together to create Ghalta and Mavren. Now, Ghalta and Mavren, you'd think, well, that's kind of, you gotta play a 12/12 creature with trample, CGB, and you can kill it, CGB. Just when it dies to Doomblade, CGB is a terrible card. You do not get immediate value. Oh, really? Because it says whenever you attack. Not whenever you attack with Ghalta and Mavren. It's the Adeline Resplendent Cathar text. And how many times has that text mattered on Adeline, where you play this and then you attack with your Thalia or whatever, and you get a 1/1, and the game starts to snowball oh so quickly. And even if they kill Adeline, you have an extra body, extra damage, extra pressure. Yes. So Ghalta and Mavren does create an immediate battlefield presence if you have another creature to attack with. It has impact even if they kill the Ghalta Mavren on their next turn. That's a big deal. However, the probably more difficult thing about Ghalta and Mavren is 7 mana. Because 7 mana is not cheap. Oh, CGB, there's 7 mana casting cost on this card. This is way too expensive to play in Standard, or any format for that matter. Well, maybe you're right. It always is difficult to overcome casting costs. However, this is the same casting cost as Atraxa, a card that is seeing some play. Obviously, Atraxa with the card advantage thing does not care if it dies. But Ghalta and Mavren, especially if somehow given haste, does a little more work. What about Bitter Reunion? This is a card that we have in the format where we can say discard our Ghalta and Mavren, draw 2 cards, then we can use a reanimation spell like an Invoke Justice, what is the one that's going around? Cruelty of Gix. Yes, just get it back, give it haste right away, and smashy smash. I think that sounds pretty good. The kind of problem there can be that you don't have other attacking creatures, and Ghalta and Mavren really like other attacking creatures. Here's a way to attack with 2 creatures, one of them being Ghalta and Mavren. It's Olivia, the Crimson Bride. This is 4 and a black, red, and 3/4 flying haste vampire noble that is in Standard. You might not have seen it in a minute. And when it attacks, you return a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking, and it gains, when you don't control a legendary vampire, exile this creature. Fun note, That won't happen. If they kill Olivia, you get to keep Ghalta and Mavren, because guess what? Legendary vampire. Got him. Where we didn't get him is that we don't actually get the attack trigger to make the creatures from Ghalta and Mavren, because it enters the battlefield tapped and attacking already. However, you are attacking for 15 damage. And 12 of its trample and 3 of its flying, and hopefully that is good enough. So I actually think Olivia and Ghalta is one of the funner ways to get the job done if you're looking to do this kind of reanimation stuff. In fact, you can even layer it. You can Bitter Reunion, or Fable of the Mirror Breaker will say, discarding both Olivia and Ghalta, and then use one reanimation spell like Cruelty of Gix to get Olivia for just 5 mana, bring Olivia out, attack, bring back Ghalta, swing for 15 for only 5 invested mana. Very, very sweet. And unlike a lot of creatures that could be reanimated, if they kill Olivia, then you still get to keep Ghalta and Mavren because of the clause that this is a legendary vampire. So I think that that's pretty slick. Maybe that's a deck in the works. However, where Ghalta and Mavren start to become very interesting is Historic. Why? Because there's a card in Historic that for even less mana cheats vampires into play. It's Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord. Do you remember this card? The -3 of this 3 mana Planeswalker says you may put a vampire card from your hand onto the battlefield. Who dis? A vampire. It's a vampire. It's a blood-sucking freaking vampire. It's right there in the types. You don't just bring out the Mavren and leave the Ghalta in hand. No, the whole thing comes in. So yes, turn 3, Ghalta and Mavren. And if you have an Aetherborn, a gifted Aetherborn, which is a 2 mana vampire, and you attack with it, you can then also either make 2 1/1s, which you can pitch around with Sorin's +1, or you can make a 2/2 attacking dinosaur with trample. That's a pretty good curve. If you played a 1 vampire 2 as well, like, I mean, you are curving out. You are doing the thing. Is that going to be worth it? Is that a meme? You definitely have to have other ways to take advantage of Ghalta in hand. Like, this deck may also just want to be black-red. It may want to run Fable of the Mirror Breaker, so you can just discard Ghalta sometimes. It may also want to run the Cruelty of Gix thing. Maybe you can do layers of cheating out your Ghalta and Olivia. But that does sound like a Historic deck, doesn't it? You do cheap vampires, you do Sorin, you do Olivia, you do Ghalta and Mavren, you do Fable of the Mirror Breaker, you do Cruelty of Gix so you can reanimate them if you don't draw the Sorin, and Fable to turn them into real cards, and you surround it with some cool removal and maybe some other vampires, you know, Knight of the Ebon Legion, gifted Aetherborn stuff. I think we're playing Magic. That sounds like a pretty fun deck to at least try out. And then to top it all off, you can play this in Historic Brawl. Who's the best commander? Well, I mean, this could be your commander, but it doesn't cheat on mana the way that the other Ghalta does, which makes Ghalta an amazing Historic Brawl commander for mono green. What you should be doing with this is slotting it into your dinosaur deck, because Gishath would absolutely love to cheat this card into play. That would be glorious. That's where the card really lies. Now, you can run it as your commander and run a bunch of ramp and just play it straight up because you love the card, but I think that this slots right into Gishath in Historic Brawl and Commander, and that it will absolutely love being there as one of the better and more fun and explosive and just puts a smile on your face kind of hits that you can do. So that's my take on Ghalta and Mavren. This is just kind of a fun and silly card for the most part, but don't get got. I think at some point this and Olivia will team up as to just give you an amazing amount of damage to face. And when it happens, you can say, I knew that was coming. CGB told me so. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next one. You're cool.